It is so complex. And then on top of that, by some estimates, there are 75% fewer beverage alcohol distributors than there were in the early 2000s. So, how did consolidation affect MHW's service model?
So, as I said early on, John Baudet had the vision to see that the consolidations would cause a massive backlog. That's only increased and become harder and harder for new brands and even existing brands to get attention and shelf space. So if you look at New York as just one example, when I first began in the early 2000s, there was probably somewhere between 15 and 20 major distributors. I'm not talking about small boutique distributors, major distributors that carried both wine and spirits. Beer is separate in New York. And now there really are two major ones, probably another five of important ones, but two major ones. So when that happens and you start combining, especially for the outlying products, not the main products, but things like a Irish cream, or perhaps back then a mezcal, or even bourbon back then. Well, how many do you need, right? Like you don't need 50. So you have to start divesting. And that has continued all the way through. Currently, there are major wholesalers who consolidate in a market like maybe Chicago, and all of a sudden they start looking at their portfolio and there's too many vodkas or too many tequilas, too many Irish whiskeys. And these brands that have volume suddenly don't have a house. So that has really helped with the growth of service models because they have volume. They know they can do it. They've got proof of concept, but some of them get a little gun shy. They don't necessarily want to go to another distributor who could do the same thing. Now, when I say national distributor, you have to have an in-state distributor, but they look to us so they can have a little bit more, as Ryan pointed out, control and management of where the brand is going and what type of development it'll have. And that continues. The consolidations haven't ended. They do continue.